Alright guys, Snowman here. Thought I'd do a quick show and tell and talk about some things here. Got the Frobus back together. This was one that I restored. The primary grinds had some really bad notches knocked out of it, so I redid those. Cleaned the blade up. We sandblasted it, and then I silica ceramic black coated that blade. Put a nice secondary cutting edge on here. Got a nice razor sharp edge. This was the second variation modeled by Frobus International of Spain, issued to Navy SEALs back in 1991. This version, the clip point is flat on this side. The other version has a clip point where you have beveling on both sides, which that's a cool blade as well. But huge collector market out there. I've got several of these Frobus M9s, and these little combat utility knives are pretty cool. And this one is, I had this, I took this apart. So I wanted to do this video because I had planned on, I'm going to make a template for this little guard here. So I have the larger EOD template to these M9 bayonets. But what's pretty cool is these parts, that's a really high quality bolt. And then this is real high quality stainless steel piece that screws on to the tang. So I'm going to take that off and do me a template. But yeah, it came out really cool, and they used some nice parts there. And I'm not sure, I haven't really researched how well the SEALs like this knife or even how much they used it. I'm sure there's a few guys that used it, but you know, I'm just not so sure that this kind of tang is going to hold up under extreme combat conditions. I don't know if there's anybody out there that knows any stories of these failing or not. I've heard a few stories that it did, but don't know if they're true or not. I still think these are highly collectible. I know there's a huge collector market out there for these, but I thought that was pretty cool because that's a really nice high quality piece, and this bolt is pretty robust too. Once you screw this thing all back together, I mean, it battens down, it locks pretty solid. But what I want to also talk about is my 10-inch hollow grinders produce some really nice hollow grinds, but one thing I figured out is even though I use this to bevel these down and get a nice hollow grind, finishing them out, I'm still going to have to go back and sand these horizontal like this and get a nice sanding job by hand. I've started this one. You know, at first I thought I'm going to be able to use this thing and have the grind, you know, going down at an angle like that and finish off with the grinder at a higher, you know, going up to 1,000, 1,200 grit. But the knives just look the best when everything's, to me, when everything is sanded horizontally along the length of the blade. So that's something I'm going to start doing. And you know, if it's a shiny blade. And then I'm going to go from 600 or 400 grit, 600 grit, 800, 1,000. And I'm going to start going to 1,200 on the final grit and polishing them. So that's one thing that I'm trying to improve on. I'm trying to get my shiny blades. I'm trying to get those nicer. And then I've got the other blade style where we sandblast it. You have that protection. Then we can sandblast it and do the silica ceramic black, like what's on this Frobus. So yeah, and I got a little SOG, Mac V SOG Vietnam Tribute. This one I'm going to do a stacked black rubber handle. I think that's going to look cool with the commercial bronze gold pommel and a nice handguard on there, a SOG style handguard. So get that one started. Just some fun little projects that I'm doing. Got a couple here. This is 1095. I got this M9X EOD. This is actually going to be, these two is going to be the combat utility knife. My Commando version is the 7.5 inch blade. So these are going to be the combat utility version. Was going to do these with a full tang. I'm leaning towards doing hollow handles out of these. We'll see. You know, I like to try different things. This one's 1095. Going to be a M9X combat utility. I wanted to show you guys another thing here really quick. This is my commercial bronze parts case. Let me just get something out here. The last few days I've spent approximately 12 to 14 hours labor time making handguards. Let me just move this so we can show you guys. This is a show and tell, so I'll try to make that happen here. Let's see if we can get that on here. There we go. So I've got a little bottom drawer here. I want you to look at all these. I've got, this one is one that I had. It was on my Model 24 Soldier hollow handle. But I'm doing larger versions. I'm going to make one custom for it. But I've got 4 there that I made. These are specifically made for hollow handle survival knives. And then I've got another 4 that are a little bit longer or wider. These are 3 1/4. This one's a little over 3 1/4. Almost a 3.5 inch in width. Each one of these takes approximately 1 hour labor time to make. So I've got 12 of them, and I did 4 of the EOD handguards. This is a handguard that I got from Mo City Man. I made a template of it, and I'm just starting making my own out of that commercial bronze. These are neat because you can put these on any type of combat knife, and then if we want, let me find this over here, we can do a hollow handle with this as well. See how wide it is? Just perfect, and it's just got a really nice look to it. So I thought about doing some of those combat utility knives with this guard and the hollow handle, you know, version. So yeah, cool stuff. Keep me occupied for the last few days. It's warmer. I thought I want to get this done. We got cold weather coming. And I'm going to start keeping my hollow handles in here. This is just kind of my parts for the guards and the hollow handle itself. The titanium rivets, I got those in here. This whole thing pulls out, and this, well, let me show you. This comes out, and you just spread this apart here. You got other drawers there with all kinds of parts in there. So this is just set up for the commercial brass that I use to make all my handguards. Got 2 blade blanks going here for my Snow Force 1 hollow handle survival knives and a Snow Force 2. I'm going to do 2 builds on that. So I appreciate you guys stopping by and all your support. I will catch you guys on the next one.